Martin, nice to see you again. Long time no see. What's new in the Teachers Who Coach network?
Oh my goodness, a lot. I know you've been away a while, so it's had a chance to grow, to stabilize, and we're feeling that it's ready for something more. Not more of the same, but something more challenging, perhaps. So where we are on LinkedIn, we have a supporters group who support the idea of teachers who coach, which, of course, in case you didn't know, were teachers who maybe they're teaching secondary school mathematics or English or primary school teachers, but they're using coaching, or should I say, discovering coaching, that they actually coach. And it's those wonderful moments when a child says, well, I don't know, or I don't want to do this. And there's a bit of resistance going on. And the teacher then has to use something other than subject knowledge to move the lesson forward. And we have in the supporters group been discussing, how do we do this? Leaning quite heavily towards tools, talking about, for example, you probably remember this one, the Grow cards. I've got them right there, where you practice, i.e. use the Grow questions in a teaching situation. So you might naturally say, well, what's the goal here? That's the first letter, G. And then what's the reality? What are resources? That's the R. So you move through the Grow process, perhaps in an organic way, pun intended, and it becomes part of the language between the teacher and the student, that if the teacher's done it 3 or 4 times, use this Grow process, the students know what's coming and begin to take over the process in a good way. So you'll hear them in the classroom, students start coaching each other. And that's pretty amazing for a teacher to be able to go, oh, I don't have to worry about Jim because Jane she's coaching him. And it's those kinds of moments we've noticed that in the group. They're reporting back to us when we ask them how we're using coaching. Well, I'd stopped using it, worry. The kids are doing it themselves, or the school leaders are preparing each other for the next step. So we've got lots of teachers who are perhaps in a deliberate way using coaching, others who are discovering that, oh, I've been coaching for years. And somewhere in the middle, they're saying, oh, I'd like to get better at coaching. So something that you won't know, perhaps, Jana, because you haven't been paying attention to every single post that's been out there. We announced, I can't think what we called it, coaching practice, there we go. Around about January this year, I said, who'd like to practice their coaching skills? And inadvertently created a group of people who actually wanted to practice their skills, although they weren't coaches. They were just teachers. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way. They were teachers who wanted to practice. And I thought, wow, I can't work with all of them at the same time. So I invited coaches to join them. From our previous work with professional coaching support for teachers, it morphed into a more mutual coach each other, give feedback to each other, because even coaches who are certified want to know how their coaching is landing, and you can always improve. So that was one of the little sprouts that came up early this year, a bit like a snowdrop. It popped its little head out and said, I want to learn how to coach even more, even better. So we've now on the 4th month, it being April soon, we've got a couple of handfuls of people who keep coming back for new and more coaching partners. And it's my little job to gather in their availability, to across multiple time zones I may add, to match them up in terms of who's available at the same time on the same day and who would make a good partner for each other. The idea there is not to give people too much of a challenge. So if you give someone like a certified coach and an absolute beginner, that can be quite daunting for the absolute beginner. So I find people who are quite close to each other. That means I have to interview them, doesn't it? Yes, it means I have to interview them one by one to find out where they are, where they're going, and who I think might be a good match for them. So it's a bit like matchmaking,
Yeah.
professional matchmaking, yes. Putting them together and then adding in a little bit of, well, what is coaching? Because not everybody knows. So that was a tender moment when I asked people how much advice should a coach give? Very good question. How much advice should a coach give? And I got different answers. I got a whole range of answers. And I thought, okay, well, that's where they are right now. So I gave my answer and a little bit of theory and a little bit of a practical thing to do. And people said that it was good to be reminded because even as a professional coach, you can drift into consulting, mentoring. Of course you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you're coaching, you should be coaching. Back to the middle, back to the coaching realm. And the teachers who'd never been trained said, oh, I didn't know that. I thought coaching was giving advice. So during that first couple of months, we developed supportive material for teachers who coach. Yeah, it sounds so simple when you say it. That and feedback around the recruiting, the enrolling process, the matching process, the resources, the follow-up, what happens when people don't turn up, because people get ill, people get distracted, people get overwhelmed with work, and they don't know each other to begin with. They're partners, but they've never met. During the first few times, they never met until they have. And then when they have great respect for each other's time and energy and expertise. So now we're coming up to the fourth one. It's almost self-perpetuating because they're asking for who they want to work with. Not, oh, please give me somebody, but I want to work with somebody who. Yeah. Partly because I asked that question. So where we are right now is we're outgrowing the system that was cobbled together at the beginning of the year, which was basically an Excel sheet, who's available and time zones. And then we're looking at not automating it, but making it slightly more automated.
Yeah. And sustainable, yeah.
Sustainable, at the moment, I'm carrying it all because I know everybody. But I think as it matures, I think coaches will be able, or the partners will be able to take on new partners because they know it worked last time. And they can take on a complete stranger feeling, okay, I know it's going to work because it worked last time. The very first time, there isn't a last time. Yeah. They have nothing to lean into. So we're getting there, probably during the summer. We're looking at something like a room booking system where you just book a room. I am available on Wednesday at 2:00, my time zone. Somebody else is available, whatever it might be in their time zone. And think, oh, okay, should we, get a room, guys? Moving the matchmaking on to a kind of marriage guidance. Having matched them in that time zone, in that room, they coach each other and give and receive feedback. And there are structures for that. And then I ask for feedback on what's missing that could be added and what should be taken away to make space for it. So there's a kind of feedback loop for me as the organizer. And it means I don't have to do all the coaching. I've been doing it up until now. You can imagine. I have had 20 slots, 20 coaching sessions a week.
Oh, my.
And loved every minute of it. And now we're doing about 40, 50 a month where I don't have to get involved at all. And it's scalable. The key word for me is building a building that builds itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm headed for. So that was the coaching practice. which has grown out of the Teachers Who Coach supporters group, asking for, well, we asked them what's next, and they told us. The other part of what they told us was, well, you can probably guess what teachers ask for. Tools. They want tools, please. Could you give me some tools? And we had discovered that putting tools in the hands of the uninitiated, doesn't quite produce the results you'd hope for. And I do understand, but I'm quite eager to. It's a bit like I've found a box of chocolates I'm willing to share. But not everyone knows how to use the coaching tools. Even if we tell them, it's not in their hands. And so I tell stories, quite a lot of stories about the occasion when. And it's never to do with the tools in my hand or the words in my mouth. It's the thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
So in order to support that transformation, that somebody who wants to use the tools is now thinking, oh, it doesn't work. Those tools don't work. I've done the grow and nobody listened. Well, actually, you can't start with them. You have to start with yourself. Hence, going back to the coaching practice, it's good to start with yourself. So I looked at the material where I produced 2022, I think it was. Yeah, just post-COVID. I published a book called Steps to a Coaching Classroom. And I revisited it and thought, well, actually, this stuff's quite good. It was one of those books I put out on Amazon, like many other Amazon books. They go quiet after a while because people move on to the next recently published book. And I thought, well, I'll bring this back in a different form. So I made myself a little post-its with 12 steps and what I wanted to say with the material. The material is already there. It's in printed form. Shall I wave it at you?
Got it right there.
Yeah, I got a new one. It's one of those Amazon, what do you call it, proofs, just to make sure it's the right size. Yeah, that'll do. It's nice. It's a nice size. I thought, great, but I put tools in people's hands again. I need to support the implementation, and when they get to a problem, the book's not going to help them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in there, but they need someone to have that conversation. So I added to the revised book an invitation to the online course. Because the online course is interactive. It's a little more attractive. It's a little more, hello, here's the next section. Whereas a book will happily sit on the shelf and not say anything. The online version of the book, actually it's not quite the online version of the book, it's more path. It comes to you by email. Hello, next step is ready. Oh, are you ready for the next step? And number 12 is here. Every week you get a little nudge and a reminder. You don't have to do it, but you can. And it reminds you about one of the contents here. I just pull something up at random. This one will, grow on. Done that. This one is lesson plan. Here is a lesson plan structure that you can use that actually uses coaching. Okay? And if you close the book, it's gone. Whereas the email kind of nudges at you a little bit more. It suggests that you try it this week. Pick a class, pick a lesson, pick a subject, however you need to do that. And how will you do the lesson plan using coaching questions today or tomorrow? So it makes it very much more immediate. And it asks for the participant to write about it. And on the receiving end is yours truly going, yes, it's a good idea. And I'm able to pick them up when they will stumble. They have to stumble. When they say, oh, the tool doesn't work, or this process doesn't work, we'll find out that it's not the tool, it's the user. And that led to the fourth element, or the fourth component, which is mentoring. And some people say, the book's fine, I can read the book and I can just do it on my own, thank you very much. Good. And some people say, oh, help. I need a little bit more than what's in the book, and I can't put everything in the book. It would be too heavy to carry around. I'm able to hear what they're saying, and by coaching, reflect back what it is they need to be considering. It's nearly always their thoughts and their feelings before they pick up the tool. And in particular, learning from mistakes is one of the chapters, learning from mistakes. You've got to learn mistakes in order to learn. It's not, I can imagine learning without making mistakes. No, that doesn't really make sense, does it? That'd be a great book. Empty. I learned to ride a bike without falling off. Hands up, please. What, nobody? I learned to drive a car without crashing the gears once. No, nobody. You have to, it's part of the process. And then for the teacher to be involved in a learning process, gradual one, it's one nibble a week, one little thing to do. And in the book, there's dozens of things to choose from. It's one little thing to do. And have someone to talk to about it. They can either talk with me as a mentor, and then I'm more of a showing them and telling them what to do, or they can go to their colleagues in a coaching relationship and practice their coaching. I have an issue today around implementing this. Oh, you had a fantastic idea about paper clips. Okay, it didn't work. Great. What are we learning from that? So suddenly I've got this four-wheel package of things that I can offer. And I'm in the process, I'm 99% there, putting them onto a website. And here's the very new thing. You've never heard me say this before, I think, Nala. I'm getting paid for it.
Oh my, that's amazing.
All the time you've known me, I've been the guy who does things for free.
Yeah.
Well, not for free. I mean, it's a privilege to be able to give.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I'm retired, with lots of stuff all stacked up. How can I possibly make use of it? And for various reasons, one of them being people respect what they pay for, which hadn't really bothered me before. But I say I had 20 hours a week coaching, maybe 18 of them turn up, maybe 2 don't. That's okay. I don't mind that much. I think it's a bit annoying, but I've got my garden to deal with, I've got a house to deal with, I'm busy. If they don't turn up within 15 minutes, I'm off, I'm doing something else. Fine. But it is a lack of respect. And when people have to pay for something, and it's enough money for them to go, ooh, I don't want to waste that money, they turn up. Even if they're going to turn up 50% because they are distracted or they wouldn't have turned up otherwise because of something, because they've paid, they do turn up. So that was one shift. And the other shift was around my personal finances that ends met until now. No, they don't. Mm-hmm. Now I actually need to put some money on the table. And I've not really thought about that for, 10 years. I've had a company. Well, actually, you know what? I think I'll just restart that company. Mm-hmm. So here am I with a slightly different hat on. I'm selling my services, selling my hours. But it's the same audience. It's teachers who want to coach in the classroom for all the obvious benefits. And it's not as expensive as it might sound, certainly not as kind of prices I was charging in my previous employment. It's about half of that because in a position where I don't need to generate a massive income, I just want to bridge that little gap between what I got and what I need.
Yeah, yeah.
And suddenly I'm in the same mindset as many, many other people have thought, oh yeah, you get to the end of the money before the end of the month. That kind of reality. I've had an easy 10 years, not health-wise, but financially an easy 10 years. And coming back into the reality of it, the transactional part of the world, it's been a bit of a bump. And it's enabled me to talk about a transformation, a journey from transaction to transformation. I mean, when I stand in front of a room full of teachers or a room full of students, I'm not actually asking them to pay money, I'm asking them to pay attention. It's a kind of transaction. But the transformation occurs. Now I'm coming back to the transaction world and pay me your dollars for my hours and you will get a transformation. So that's quite new.
Okay, well, I've been honored to test the initial chapters of your course, and I can say it's really, really well structured as far as I know. And what I really like is that audio plus text version. They align. They are not the same. The text is not just transcript. This is what I already text you. Really appreciate that, because it's like it's very logical, and it sticks better when you hear or read the same from different sources. It's like the same content but in different words, and it sticks better, gives you maybe more details. You give more details in the text. So and I really like the storytelling intertwined in between, right? So tell me about, what is the output? What is the takeaway the people who take the course will get at the end?
I think initially it's a return of hope. I'm painting a picture of a classroom where both the teacher and the students thrive. It's fun to be there. Every single one of those stories, I mean, I say stories, it's actually lived experience retold in a compressed form so that you can read it in 5 minutes instead of having to go through the 50 that it took to get there. The takeaways are, it's that easy. Really is that easy. And it's little tweaks. Like when you start a lesson, you can start it that way, the way that you normally do it. Now, today we're going to do this, and this. Or you could start it another way. And I'm offering the other version of how can you start a lesson, or how can you return a student to studying who's doing something naughty. As a teacher, what is this child doing? I'm angry and it's wasting my time. But no, it's an opportunity to learn. It's that mistake concept again. There's something we can learn here. So I think what happens through the storytelling is teachers see that there are a lot of opportunities when they could pour energy into fighting what's going on. They can actually go with the flow. That doesn't mean giving up. It means doing something different to fighting it. Designing a lesson on the fly, but it ends up being what you planned anyway, because you're the adult in the room most of the time. But the buy-in from the students is they feel they've contributed to the design of the content, of the how, the activities, how they're going to be tested. And you still have full control. You're still in charge of what's going on. It just, you seem to have gained a different balance. And it's that, I'm not alone here trying to teach a lesson against people who don't want to learn. No, we're all in this together. There are many examples in the book of how the story illustrates a principle, but also a principle has been extracted from a story. Like, I experienced this first. In a way, many teachers experience things. And you pause. What principle do you derive from this? For example, student misbehaves, and you need to perhaps send them out of the room. What principle do you derive from that? Is it, I have to be a punishing teacher? Or have you used your curiosity and thought, student misbehaves, what learning is there here? And then derive that principle from the experience. So very often teachers have got a whole series of experiences and they've derived principles that don't serve them. They might be true and correct, but they don't serve. They don't help. So I've chosen in many cases to be quite naive, beginner's mindset, quite naive about the intention of the naughty students or the awkward photocopiers that just won't make copies. All the things that go wrong, I choose to see them in a different way. And it's that mindset shift not towards complete stupidity, but in that direction of being naive. It's something I learned very, very early on, that naivety, the innocence, means that it's the same situation can appear different ways. Someone might feel, oh, this is horrible, look, proof again, look at this. It's always the brown-eyed children. Have you read the story, Blue-Eyed and Brown-Eyed? I'm sure you have. Oh, I can tell you that one. Oh, it's always the brown-eyed children that were awkward in the class. That's a conclusion that you draw. You could also draw another one that something else is going on. Mm-hmm. So the book, and I've done this with students, present a situation and then ask, what are your conclusions? What principles are you drawing from this? And what else is there that maybe you haven't thought of? And which one do you choose? You can choose the dog is barking, therefore it's a mad, bad dog, or the dog is barking, therefore it's probably hungry or scared. Mm-hmm. You can take whatever principle you want from that, mm-hmm. and to deliberately choose the one that's most generous, with most curiosity, creativity, means that everyone's in an environment where all the mistakes are opportunities to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really, really like how you said it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of deliberate choice. And to be able to make that choice, you actually need to reflect a lot. You need to pause. You need to stop doing what you are doing automatically. You know, what we've been doing automatically for years is, you know, those old habits, routines. Yeah. So getting out of those rails and pausing. I think this is exactly what I got from those first parts of the course. Yeah? When I listened to it, you remember I wrote you that at first it felt like it's too fast and too slow. Too slow. And I had an urge to, you know, to speed it up a bit, but I just stopped myself. No, soak this in. Yes, give yourself that time. So I did. And this is exactly the moment, you know, when we are allowed to pause, when we are allowed to reflect on what the automatic reactions are and whether they are actually serving us or not.
Yeah. That is why the course is slow. You've heard me speaking. I speak quite quickly. My natural speaking speed is 101 miles an hour. On the course, I speak slow, and there's a hell of a lot. I've gone through it, I've changed the pausing. You can actually put a metronome in the background. He's singing that. I'm actually following a script. You can hear it. Once you hear it, it's like, he's actually following a script, and he's got a timing in the background, and hear it, and you begin to walk with me in your thinking and your feeling. You know what's coming next. Mm-hmm. It's always a step. And that gives you, I think, someone described it to me, I've got a little Martin on my shoulders. Isn't that nice? Who says things like, really? The student is being awful. Oh, right. There's a little reminder that there's more going on than you think, because we are very, very good at shortening our thinking. Mm-hmm. Because it takes energy. And if we're forced to make hundreds of decisions in a classroom, thousands during a lesson, if you're forced to make them at speed, it's usually by habit. Yeah. Because that's where the cheapest, energy-wise, cheapest answers are. And what I'm saying is that takes us into where the readers or the participants often are in a state of chaos and exhaustion. And the way out is to notice when you're being pushed by something or triggered by something. And that first lesson is so easy, it's a bit cheesy. It's a 5-second breathing activity. If you can do that, everything else falls into place. And it sounds like a yoga lesson, but I guess it's a little bit of a yoga lesson. Yeah, it's to get people out of the spontaneous, low energy response to situation, to think again, what else is there instead of the old one? And when the adult in the room, the teacher, is the one who goes, just hang on a second, is slowing down. Your students will go, what? Teacher's slowing down? maybe I should too. There's nothing better than showing students how. You can tell them till your mouth falls off, but showing them how you handle stress, how you handle things going wrong, the projector light goes out, computer stops working, the windows fall out, and goodness knows what else. Don't get fazed by it. There's another situation coming along very soon after that will also throw you. Show them how to deal with it. And then you become a learning team around one of the biggest lessons in life, is how to live. Not how to do mathematics or English or whatever else subject it is. That's a good excuse for being in the room, but we're here to learn about life. And then there's a connection between our subject and real life. So mathematics connects to real life, English connects to real life, all of them do. That's when we know as teachers that we're connecting with students. We connect our subject to their lives. Every day we can do a life lesson. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so what are your plans? When will the course be ready? How can participants access it?
I've given myself a date of April. The book's already published, but I haven't promoted it. It's ready to purchase, you could say. Please buy on Amazon. The course is minutes away from being launched. I need to set the timing correctly. At the moment, the one that you viewed, it was a free-for-all. Like, everything's there. It's going to be drip-fed, so that means timing. And the payment system, that's something that I haven't quite, even though it is what was the prompt. It was the prompts. I must work out how to get some more money on the table. Oh, right, book. That was easy enough because I'd already had a price on it. I haven't quite put a price. I have numbers here, but I haven't actually put them on the payment system yet. And I'm thinking, God, is it really worth anything? You know, the old imposter syndrome. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should make it a bit cheaper. Who are you arguing with? I don't know, but they're really persuasive. But maybe if I make it 79 instead of 80, maybe that would, I'm arguing with myself at the moment. Tiniest of things that might help to nudge someone in a buying mood. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. I could probably charge 5 times what the numbers are here. If someone's got the money, they have, and if they haven't, they haven't. At one point, I was thinking of having different prices for different countries. You say, where are you? What's your profession? Here's the price. Yeah, I could do that. And now I realize why people don't. It's just wickedly difficult. And you're second guessing. I mean, somebody's sitting there, you just think, oh, okay, well, she can't afford much or they can't afford much because, no, let them do it.
Yeah.
But it's this imposter thing that we all suffer from.
Yeah. And, the more you know, the more you don't know about, so the more you still feel you need to learn to get to chase, and it's like it's the never-ending vicious circle.
Yeah, exactly. So I've learned a lot by doing this. I said 3 weeks ago, I don't even have an online course. And within a week I had. My daughter was really impressed. I put my book online. What? In a week? Yep. Taken 2 weeks to polish it. It's gone from book to online course through, it's not copy-paste. It's been edited down for screen and then reading with the audio scripts. Yeah. So if someone's to pick up the book and compare it to the online course, the book's got a lot more. Yeah, but it doesn't talk to you. And it doesn't ping you every week to say, hello, how you doing? And it doesn't say, book a call with me because I'm here for you. No, the course does that. Yeah. I think the online course is the one that has the potential for building a relationship between me, the ghost of me and the teacher, and then I will be able to step in as a mentor and even train others as mentors. That's also possibly coming up If you've read the book and you know what it's about, you can easily be a mentor for people who are attempting any one of the 12 steps.
Yeah.
And I might even have a rotating mentor for the course.
Yeah.
Launch in April, April mentor and stays with you, and then change to another mentor. Now, if you want to use their services, you can. But the idea being that not every mentor fits, it's like shoes and feet. Not every mentor fits every teacher, and you should have the opportunity of choosing between at least two. Did this when we went to schools here in Sweden. The organizers wanted to send us each, as coaches, each to a school to present and then take in whose lessons we're going to observe and who we're going to coach. I said, no, I'm not doing it on my own. Not that I can't, because they was, oh, of course you can. No, it's not that I can't. It's giving them a sense of choice. And please, can we send one male, one female, one older, one younger? It's like, don't send two the same. Send two people that are different. And then we would present it as dynamic relationship between the coaches, which actually supports what we're doing. And then the teachers can say, yeah, I want to be coached by Martin. Or I want to be coached, but not by him. Not by Martin. That's just too, no, whatever. Giving them the sense of choice meant that almost everybody signed up. Whereas if you want coaching, it has to be me.
Yeah.
You've lost someone who could have been coached by somebody else. So that was part of the reason why I want to have more than one mentor in the course. At the moment, it's just me, but then that's got to start somewhere. Yeah.
And is that mentoring an integral part of the course? Yeah, like.
Yes and no. So the way I've set it up, you can buy the book and you can buy the online course. And the design of the online course is every now and again I say, how you doing? Would you like to either join peer coaching practice, because that's available, or would you like to be have a one-to-one coaching or mentoring session? I call it mentoring, not coaching, because it's very specifically about the 12 steps, not about everything else they're doing. It's an add-on, if you like. It's integrated, but it's not integral. Perhaps after this first run through, I'll think, perhaps somebody wants to buy the course and mentoring, but that kind of begs the question, they know they need it. So, yeah, not sure about that. It was the design to have the mentoring built in, but then they would have to buy the mentoring whether they need it or not. And I thought, well, why add to the price for someone who doesn't need it? Although I think they probably will. Or at least they would probably benefit from it. Yes. So they would sign up for the course, and during the course it says, how are you doing? These are some resources. One of the resources is the book, of course. Another is peer coaching. I think it's important they know that they are working with people who are on about the same level. And then there's coaching/mentoring from myself and later other people who've been doing this.
I ask because, there are lots of courses. Like I personally attended lots of courses, but from my point of view, the greatest value has always been from the follow-up mentoring. Right?
Yes.
Because, the course or the book or whatever source of information you have, it's just information, but transforming it into real life application, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. And that's roughly where we start is, okay, here's the tools and this is how you can use them. But how are you going to use them?
Exactly.
So we go from the plural non-script, how one can use it, and how are you going to do it? That answer is different for every single person. And the mentoring side from me would be, I can talk about language training, I can talk about mathematics, I can talk about secondary school, I can talk about primary, I can talk about coaching adults. So I've got quite a wide range of things I can work with, but how that teacher implements starting lessons in a different way, how they do it with their particular students, that's got to be up to them. And I'm going to be learning stuff. I expect I'll be writing a book from this. my usual modus operandi is to experience, ruminate, and then produce. I've got a book here you've never seen. Oh, what did I do with it? Here it is. You've never seen this one.
Oh.
Do you recognize that guy? That's me in hospital.
Oh my, okay.
I'm 2 hours post heart operation.
Oh my. Mm-hmm.
And I'm really taken, but it worked.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're glad to hear that.
And the whole point of this sort of burgundy color, all beautiful, and this like, oh, I can feel the pain here. It's like, ouch.
Yeah.
I'm really in physical pain. And even 2 years after that, there's another book that talks about the medical side of things. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. But that's family.
Yeah. Okay, so to conclude this talk, what kind of message would you like to send to all the people who are interested in the course or in cooperating with you?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. I talk a lot about teachers, but I've also come into contact with school leaders quite recently who are saying, yeah, we're doing this in our school. And some of our staff are trained as, let's say, the first 10 hours of coaching, but they don't apply it to the classroom. They've been on the course, but you need to go through like the whole course, become a certified coach, and they come all the way back to teach, to bring that experience with you. And they've just been given the first dinky toy tools. I would like to support whole schools with implementing coaching approach. And that doesn't mean me visiting the school. It means me helping them with as a mentor around how do they do it in their situation. So it's applying it, bringing it in rather than reading about it. And then individual teachers, I'm really not going to work with large numbers this year. I don't have, despite appearances, I don't have that much energy. I'm a Duracell bunny, and then nothing. My message to the teachers would be, you can find your hope of the one that you probably had when you started, that dream of the world being a wonderful place. And you can make your classroom into a thriving space. And it's not by doing more, it's by doing less, but by doing different. And we say it with a sort of knowing smile. I kind of know the differences that you need to change, you need to make, but it would be together with you to find the detail, but also get you on board with what you are doing. So I'm looking for teachers as well who want to do that. Perhaps as being role models for their department, because maths and English are usually multiple teachers in a school. So it might be an influential person in the department. And then in extension, looking for coaches and mentors for the teachers that I won't be able to handle, which I don't know how far in the future I need to look, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, something like that. Yeah, everyone's welcome on board. The only people I haven't mentioned, I suppose, are the students. I do that on a one-to-one basis, privately and for free, through a church and library organization. So I'm busy there. And the other ones I haven't mentioned are the parents. And a lot of people out there helping parents with children who've got multiple diagnoses. So there's plenty of work to do. My main focus is teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. And by focusing on teachers, you actually influence students and parents, right?
Yeah.
So
looking for the linchpin, where can I make the most influence in the world? Work with teachers, because they work with hundreds. I still remember my really good teachers.
Yeah. Shape lives.
Yes, they did. And I think they were vaguely aware of it. I have a physics teacher who did yoga with us. because he came, and he's a very nice man, very rotund gentleman. Is that a word? Is that right? Round, sort of overweight, had a heart attack.
Okay.
Poor fellow. Came back, he was slimmed down, and we were all really interested. We liked him. What happened? So he told us. And then, authentic teaching. Mm-hmm. And he showed us his daily routine in yoga and got us to do it. 16-year-old boys lying on the floor going, doing hatha yoga. Absolutely great stuff. And another maths teacher, science teacher, woodwork teacher, all of them did more than just teach their subjects. Mm-hmm. And that's how I realized that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to have that influence in the world. And now working with teachers who did and have lost it, that's another thing. They want to have the influence, and it's totally frustrated because it's just not happening. Little shift here, little shift there, suddenly it starts working again. Yeah. And then, of course, that affects the students, affects the parents. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The knock-on effect. Yeah. Huge.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Martin, for this conversation. And I'm really looking forward to discovering more and more in your course.